Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on a whole new generation of tycoons, the families who have built and now command China's truly staggering wealth.
Okay, so let's dive right in. We're not just going to look at numbers on a page. No, we're going to explore the stories of the entrepreneurs who built modern China's biggest corporate empires, from tech to industry and everything in between.
And you see this pattern pop up again and again. Take someone like Lei Jin of Xiaomi. He grew up in a pretty modest city, studied computer science, and got so inspired by the legends of Silicon Valley that he just set out to build his own global tech giant. It's a story that really becomes a kind of blueprint for success.
And this billionaire blueprint is so crucial because it helps us understand that first massive wave of wealth creation in China's modern era. It's this path defined by technology, by pure ambition, and honestly, a hunger to compete on the world stage.
And, when you follow that blueprint, a certain lifestyle just follows. Pretty much across the board, we're talking about sprawling estates and exclusive neighborhoods, private jets, and this laser focus on making sure the next generation succeeds through elite, top-tier education.
All right, let's move on to our first group of titans. These are the people who fundamentally changed how over 1 billion people shop, pay for things, and just live their lives online.
And at the very forefront, of course, is Jack Ma. He's this incredibly charismatic leader who, despite getting rejected from all sorts of jobs early on, including famously one at KFC, never ever gave up on his vision. He literally built an e-commerce empire from the ground up, starting in his tiny apartment. And that vision, well, it translated into an absolutely astronomical amount of wealth for his family. But here's the thing. When you create such a dominant market, sooner or later, a challenger is bound to appear. And that challenger was a guy named Colin Wang. Now, he was an ex-Google engineer who launched this company, Pinduoduo, back in 2015. But here's the genius part. He didn't try to beat Alibaba at its own game. He went and invented a whole new one.
Now, what's so fascinating about this slide is how it shows two completely different roads to the top. Think of it like this. Alibaba built this huge digital highway connecting businesses to the big cities. But Pinduoduo? They found a brand new, super fast lane by using social group buying to connect directly with consumers, especially in all those underserved rural areas.
But wealth in China isn't just about what people buy, right? It's also about how they connect with each other. So let's look at the billionaires who built their fortunes by shaping communication and entertainment for an entire nation.
Leading this charge is Ma Huateng, who most people know as Pony Ma. And in terms of personality, he is the complete, total opposite of the flamboyant Jack Ma. He's famous for being incredibly low profile, preferring to let his products do all the talking for him.
And wow, this chart just brilliantly illustrates the empire he built. See, Tencent is so much more than just one app. WeChat is the core, for sure. It's China's super app for basically everything. But his fortune is also powered by this massive global gaming division, controlling monster hits like League of Legends and Fortnite, not to mention his huge ventures in fintech and AI.
Okay, so we've been talking all about these digital empires. But not all of China's immense wealth is virtual. A powerful new wave of billionaires is rising up from heavy industry and that global push for sustainable energy.
And Wang Chuanfu, the founder of BYD, is the perfect example. He followed this playbook just flawlessly. He started out making batteries, then made this brilliant pivot into electric vehicles, took control of its entire supply chain, and turned BYD into an absolute titan of the EV world.
And he is definitely not alone. I mean, this chart really shows the scale of the wealth in this sector. You've got Robin Zeng of CATL, who built an even larger fortune by becoming the world's biggest manufacturer of EV batteries. This isn't just a trend, it's a full-on green gold rush.
So, we've seen the titans of tech, the kings of e-commerce, and the pioneers of green energy, and they all kind of followed a version of that billionaire blueprint. Which of course brings us to the final and most important question.
Well, the answer might actually surprise you, because the person who currently holds that top spot completely, and I mean completely, breaks the mold we've been talking about this whole time. Yeah, instead of complex software or fancy EVs, the person at the very, very top of the wealth pyramid built their fortune on some of the most tangible, everyday things you can imagine.
Meet Zhong Shanshan. His nickname is the Lone Wolf, and it's because of his fiercely independent style. He totally avoids the flashy tech circles and all the political schmoozing, and instead, he built a dynasty on two of the most essential products imaginable.
And that unconventional strategy?
Well, it paid off, leading to a truly mind-boggling fortune that actually tops all the tech founders we've seen. He proved there's immense, incredible power in the basics.
But just when we think we have a clear winner, the story takes one final twist, and it comes from the kind of shadowy, ultra-valuable world of private tech companies.
And this is where Zeng Yiming, the mysterious founder of ByteDance, yep, the parent company of TikTok, enters the picture. See, while Zhong Shanshan's wealth is public and pretty clear, Zhong's company is privately held. But with valuations in the hundreds of billions of dollars, his family's actual net worth is a huge subject of intense speculation, and it could very well be even higher.
So what's the ultimate takeaway from all this? Well, it shows that while we can track these immense generation-defining fortunes being created, the ultimate crown from the richest isn't some fixed title. It's a dynamic, constantly shifting position at the very, very peak of the global economy.